Hello, Dental Team listeners. This is Kiera, and today I am jazzed. I have a super fun guest on the podcast today. We're going to talk about the tariff sheriff, how that's impacting dentistry, the rise of dental supply costs, and honestly, what to do because I'm so annoyed by all these pieces. What's the economic outlook? How do dentists freaking survive? Like, gosh, it just seems like a funny world out there. But we have Ted Osterer. He is with Synergy. I love this buying group. I think they're absolutely incredible. We're going to shed some light for you guys. So, Ted, welcome to the show today. How are you?
I am doing very, very well. Thank you so much for having me. Congratulations on your 1,000th episode recently.
Thank you.
I'm happy to be a part of this and any value I could bring to your listeners. Hey, we're all better for it.
Well, thanks, Ted. And yes, I'm still in utter awe that we hit 1,000 episodes. Like when I started this, it was just a whim, a pipe dream. Jason and I were hiking. It's not a joke. I literally was hiking Half Dome. Mind you, Jason had said, hey, let's go down to Yosemite. I'd love a nice, relaxing weekend down there. And I had learned that you could go get, like, this is prior. You can't do this anymore. That you could get these, like, day passes, like these day camping passes. And if you just went and sat at this little lodge for a few hours, so I was like, Jay, yeah, of course, we'll go down there for this very calm, welcoming, like very easy, relaxing weekend. Little did he know I had full plans to try and get Half Dome tickets and like hike Half Dome. I even brought the gloves, like I was ready to go. And sure enough, I got the lottery, got the tickets. Jason was like, what the heck? We're going to freaking hike Half Dome. Like, Kiera, we haven't even prepped for this. We haven't done any of this. We don't even have a hotel. We got a hotel an hour away. We had to drive an hour outside of town. It was the nastiest hotel. They were like, I'm not even joking. There was like hair and like this little pill on the pillow that were not ours. Jason like had the worst sleep of his night. And I'm like, listen, there's no hotels around Yosemite. Like we're fine. Like, so we had a place. We went back super early the next morning to hike Half Dome. And lo and behold, on our hike, I said, Jay, I think we need to build a podcast. This is where it all started. It was like one of those things that I never imagined 1,000 episodes would hit. And here we are, Ted, you're hanging out with me 1,000 in. And I think it's just fun because of all the value, all the stories, all the people. And like you and I were talking about pre-show, the podcast is really just a place where I get to selfishly hang out and just have a good conversation with people that I like. I get to meet new people in the industry. And as a byproduct of my like nerdiness and excitement of meeting people, all of our listeners get benefited by this. So Ted, I'm so happy you're a part of this. Thank you for that. And outside of Yosemite, let's talk about the rising cost of dental supplies, the tariffs, how this is going to impact, because I know people are really nervous about it. I see in lots of dental groups out there, and you guys are really great. That's why I had you come on, because I think you're a huge solution to these problems. So take it away, Ted. Also, like, so the listeners know, how on earth did you even get into dentistry? Let's talk about that first, and then let's talk about how you, like, what this even looks like for dental practices long term.
Oh wow, how did I get into dentistry? It was fate. It was just destiny. Growing up, I had 13 teeth pulled. I had braces for 5 years, and it was like, well, I'm here for life, I guess, and this is just how we can all grow as a unit, you know. I've been in dentistry for about 15 years now. You know, I started out as a dental supply rep. I was going door to door for over 5 years, and funny enough that this is in the I grew up in the New York area. This is the major metropolitan New York area. And I had a really good buddy, and he was like, I think you'd be a really good fit actually managing dental practices. And I can actually introduce you to someone. And it was like a small, like 8 practice group. I can introduce you to somebody, the practice on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Go see if you'd be a good fit. And I was kind of like, sure, I guess. I always like, have a conversation. And I had a
Yeah.
conversation, and sure enough, I got along really well with a particular office manager from this group, and I went to go work for this office manager. Within 3 months, I had my own practice. I was a practice manager. Um, it's so funny going from a supply rep to an office manager, right? I learned the first, and I'm not saying this is everybody, but I learned the first day of being in a dental office that I knew nothing about what happens in a dental office, right? Like I'm like, oh, God, it's gonna be a piece of cake. I've been in dentistry for 5 years. It's like I could tell you how strong an impression material was. That does not help with insurance codes or
It's
posterior
not.
downgrade or presenting treatment or creating a schedule or reading a schedule, anything like that. So, obviously, much respect to everyone that manages offices that's listening right now. That, my goodness, you're fighting the good fight. Keep up the good work. Um, you
Agreed.
know, I I did that for some time. I was recruited to work for Care Credit. I oversaw New England for a few years, where then they moved me to South Florida. And then a few months after that, I was recruited by Synergy. I've been here since 2021. And this is really, really cool. I came to Synergy because the message was, do you want to make an impact in the dental world? Like
Mm-hmm.
you love what you do, but do you really want to make an impact? Do you want to help independent dentistry? And I was like, man, what a line, right? Like
Yeah.
I was suckered in, and I really wanted to make a difference. And sure enough, almost 4 years later, we're still here. We're the largest dental buying club in the country. We are the fastest growing dental buying club in the country. And we're just trying to preserve independent dentistry by giving them the same supply and overhead cost that a 20 plus practice DSO would get. We were founded by dentists. It was as black and white as, hey, if enough of us order from the same places, they'll give us a discount. And now we have people in charge of negotiating pricing. We have a dedicated team to each member to make sure that they're getting the values worth here at Synergy, and they're not ordering more than they have to. And, you asked about tariffs, the rising overhead costs, all of that really, really fun stuff, right? Let's dive into that, right? The perceived economic uncertainty of everything. Are prices going to go up? Yes, of course. Does that mean you
Mm-hmm.
need to buy everything right now at the same time to save money in like 6 months? No, you probably shouldn't do that either. The waiting game generally always pays off, be it in dentistry or outside of dentistry when it comes to money. You're better off just kind of, hold the chips, hold down the fort. It's not, you do not sound the alarms, of course, right? The price of your crowns is not going to go up 10,000%. Like, calm down, chill out, right?
Yes,
that you get,
agreed.
um, it's what we've monitored. Have tariffs affected some prices? Yes. Many have already gone down. Many have plateaued with that price increase, and we kind of have a safe, just gauge on what those actually are. Right. The percentages have been minimal. It's a few dollars here and there. Again, the industry is not belly up. It really should not be your primary concern. Primary concern. Providing optimal quality of treatment should be your number one concern still to this day. I don't think it's going to make a difference whether you're getting a new sensor or not. If your sensor goes, you're okay.
It's true. It's really true. Well, Ted, I love that. And I love your story. And I love that you have the real life experience in dental practices because that's something that we pride ourselves on at Dental A Team is like, we've been there, done that, and done it successfully. And you're right. Like, being in a practice is no small task. It's no small feat. And I think the supply cost, I do agree with you. I think certain people were getting a little bit maybe extra on this of how concerned we are of cost. And I don't think it's a wrong thing to look at, to project down and to forecast forward to make sure that you keep in line with your overhead. Like people who are looking at this, I'm high-fiving you because you actually are looking at your numbers and you understand the cost of your supplies. But at the same time, I remember I have a friend who's very wealthy. We're talking like this person brings in 28, 30 million annually a year. And like, I just
Sounds like a
giggle
great
because
friend. There you go. All
it
right.
is a great friend. I thought he said he was a cosmetic dentist when I met him, and he's surely not a cosmetic dentist. He's a cosmetic chemist. So skincare, things like that. And I remember we were talking, and he was like, "Yeah, I just got so freaked out about the stocks. I pulled everything out of the stock market. This was 2 years ago." And I'm like, "Bro, like the amount of gains because you got so scared is incredible." And I had another friend, we were sitting at a wealth conference and we had like Ray Dalio there and Paul Tudor Jones and gosh, Howard Marks, like so many of the big players in wealth. And they were talking.
Yeah.
And this guy named Harry Dent came in. And Harry Dent has been known for being right and wrong on predictions of the market. And I remember, like, I'm not kidding you. We talked in this conference of do not make rash decisions. Like we're here to gather all the information, synthesize it down, and then make best decisions. And I kid you not, we are 2 days into this 5 day conference. And I met this guy and he's like, Harry Dent just freaked me out. I went and sold sold everything. Like that night, pulled everything out of the stock market. And I was like, dude, you're the reason people talk about what not to do because you should never be this radical. And so I feel like while those are extremes, I feel like dentistry can kind of be that way with the supplies. Like we feel it's the stock market plummeting on us within our supply chain because we've got tariffs on there. When the reality is, let's remember dentistry by default, a lot of our products already have very high margins on them. Like I'm not going to say it to the world in case there are people who are not dentists listening, but you can just think about fluoride for 1 second. So fluoride has insane margins on it, which are very profitable for you. The bulk of dentistry is very profitable. So these small rises, agreed, let's take a look at that. But like you said, Ted, it's not the end of the world. So I am curious though, from my like nerdy geeky side, what things have gone up the most? What are you guys seeing across the board that the tariffs or the uncertainties, like the economy's gone up, you guys? Bread, I'm shocked. Or gasoline. You want to talk about gas prices? Like, I don't know. In Florida, it's way cheap. Here, I'm in Reno, in California. I kid you not, in Truckee, it was $7 a gallon. And I like wanted to throw up that gas is that much money. But I'm like, if gas for a gallon is $7, bread prices, I mean, you're paying $5, $6 a loaf for bread, like supplies are going to be higher. It's not something that I'm like, oh my gosh, my cotton rolls went up. Well, yeah, of course they went up. So does like everything in the world has gone up. Home prices have gone up. But I am curious, what have you guys seen that the tariffs hit the most? Like, what are some of those supplies? But we're asterisking this. Everyone listening, you have to promise you will not be either of my two friends who go radical. So when Ted tells you which ones were the little bit higher, do not go out and get me like your prepping situation where you go buy all this because you're freaking out about it. Like, steady the course, stay consistent, and just like watch to see, because most things will level out, just like in stocks, just like in investments. But if we're radical and being wild on it, that's where you get like it just does not benefit. So I think, Ted, everyone has promised. I made them just promise, like everybody, yes, you promised, don't be radical. Ted, what are some of the ones that are seeing the highest hits? Like what products, what things are you guys seeing?
Since you all promised not to be radical, I will
Pinky
go ahead
promise.
and share. Yeah, unbreakable. We know that's
It's
unbreakable.
unbreakable. You did that, you like kiss the thumb, something like that, and then you like do a dance. All of them have done that, right? Nobody better lie. Don't be radical. Okay. They're good.
Excellent. So for those listening at home, I did a very, very impressive interpretive dance, but for those watching, you saw it. It's all good. So with a lot of the tariffs I've seen, and look, it's so volatile, and for those again listening, I'm doing that thing with your finger where you go up and down a lot,
That's so
about how much it goes up and down.
yeah.
Look, I mean, you saw a lot of the anesthetics made in Canada go up a significant percent. You saw a lot of lab cases sent from overseas, or it's funny enough. For those that don't know what the gray market is in terms of the supplies in the industry, right? Products are made overseas, totally fine, right? There's nothing wrong with products that are made overseas. However, sometimes they're made in factories that are only authorized in certain countries, even though it could be big name, supply partners, major manufacturers. I won't name drop. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to. You can Google it. You have access to the internet. Congrats. Um, when it comes to yeah, what, that these products that are made overseas are only regulated to be in select countries. They still have to be refrigerated certain ways. They could have been made a long time ago. They're set to expire. They are mailed here and then they are sold in the United States. They're unregulated. You'll see their costs are insanely low to the point where it's too good to be true. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! It is too good to be true, right?
Yeah.
In the event that someone, your malpractice insurance is kicked in, you use gray market products, you might be losing a case, and that's not the smoke you want. However, in the event of these tariffs, funny enough, what went up? These gray market products, right?
Interesting.
Um, they went up to the point where they're the same pricing, if not more than what your rep is offering you now. And look, you don't want to be caught with something like that, and it goes to show you that again, you're worried about optimal care. You should be worried about what you're putting in your patient's mouth as well. And depending on where you order it from, right? Like, picture yourself, you're a patient in a chair, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And an assistant walks in to set, to set the room, to put the supplies that you're going to use on that tray, and she opens an eBay box. Imagine how the patient must be
Yeah,
feeling
no,
knowing,
no,
or an Amazon
no.
box. It's like, wait a minute, if your patient's aware at all, you probably don't want that. And now that price is the same price that a major dealer is going to offer you, or a rep can offer you. That's the worst case scenario. I believe that's what I've seen went up the most. And there were
Interesting.
some labs from overseas, where the tariff was taking effect. A lot of the tariffs they were getting, they were passing directly on to the consumer. I've seen that stop also.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say it's not going to happen again, but it's not like you can order in bulk all these cases, you know?
It's
So,
true.
again, when it comes to your labs, if you're satisfied with your lab, play the waiting game. You should be fine.
Yeah, that's actually really helpful to know, Ted, because I was really curious, and I think it's one of those things of I don't know. I'm the clinician inside of me. So I originally dental assistant, office manager, treatment coordinator. We have a lot of hygienists on our team. I think all of us in consulting, well, yes, we watch the numbers exponentially, which is why I brought Ted on. I wanted Synergy to be here. I think it's a great solution for your numbers. The biggest thing I will also say is like please don't be so obsessive with the numbers that you cut your amazing dentistry and you are actually not doing the best dentistry for patients. I believe that when we do good by our patients, when we take care of them, when we use great products, I'm not saying you have to be Ivoclar. I'm not saying you have to be like high end. You can if you choose. But just making sure that we're doing right by our patients. Like I said, dentistry is a very profitable industry as is. Like we have done a really good job of keeping the practices profitable in spite of insurances and all of that. But I really just want to make sure people, when we're looking at this, let's not penny pinch and nickel, like watching all of our nickels when we're actually doing a disservice to our patients. So agreed, like that gray market, things like that. Yes, I like to be a good shopper. I love to get a good deal. But making sure that it's a good deal that's also taking care of your patients would be my like word to the wise of again, I believe that when we are good and we're honest to our patients, people feel that there's good karma, there's good energy, it's all the way around. So, Ted, how does synergy work? Like, how do you get around this? Because things are going up. Being a business owner, I mean, shoot, our margins they've been high, so maybe they're a little less high. I will also say, like doctors, I hope you've increased your fees too. You should do that. So, like, it's not just supplies that get to go up. Dentistry also gets to go up and it should be going up. And if you haven't raised your fees, I'll just asterisk that right now. Like that is very common. It's very normal. It should be done every single year. I think that's a way to offset some of these costs for you too. That's ethical and honest. But Ted, kind of walk us through like independent dentists, which are most of the practices listening. We do have some DSOs on there. I think sometimes you can feel like, I don't know, it's like the little brother who's watching the big brother drive the car. And it's like, why can't I get these deals? Like, I know I'm just one practice, but like sometimes you feel neglected. You sometimes feel like distributors and manufacturers don't give you as good of a deal. Like, let's be real, the DSOs do get better deals than you do. I mean, I've heard, I go talk to a lot of people and they're like, well, yeah, if you've got 20, 30, 50 practices, we're going to give you like pennies on the dollar compared to my solo practice that's going to be paying more for it due to the bulk distribution. So how can we have that of like how can independent dentists win, not have these costs hit them, and to still play in the big leagues, even though they don't want to necessarily practice that way today?
Yeah, awesome question, right? You hit on the head. What do DSOs do? They strong arm these dealers, manufacturers, distributors,
Yeah.
and they say, look, I have 30 offices. We all want to order from you. We'll commit to this amount of spend. We'll commit to this amount of product. Give me the absolute best deal you will, or I'm going to the other distributor that's on the next page of this advertisement that I
Yeah.
am looking at, right? So they're just negotiating fees all day. That's what the DSOs are doing. They have people in place to negotiate these rates all day. That's what Synergy Dental Partners has, right? Independent dentistry. Um, I mean, look, it's alive and well. We see it every day. Just because there's not major conferences that you're demanded to go to, like DSOs and things like that, doesn't mean that you're not alive and well and band together and know what's actually going on in dentistry, right? So independent dentists will subscribe to Synergy to have access to the same pricing that those 20 plus, 30 plus practice DSOs would get, right? We negotiate with these supply partners all day long on the supplies that you're already using, right? I mean, that's what we do. We
Yeah.
bully our vendors. We come to an agreement with specific supply partners to be in our network that have very attractive offerings that they will only offer to Synergy members, right? We're partnered with major distributors. We negotiate with them all day. We're partnered with different implant organizations, with different rotary organizations, with different services. Depending on what you're looking for, we're going to offer you something that you would not be able to get on your own, right? Do you have to order in bulk as a Synergy member? No, that's the point of us because we have enough dentists all ordering from the same place that the bulk is taken care of. Order as you go, right? So
Mhm.
Darby is our anchor supplier. Shine's the largest distributor in the country. Patterson's the second largest distributor in the country. Darby's the third largest distributor in the country. When you place an order with them, everything comes in 1 to 2 days. As a Synergy member, any order over $249, there's no shipping charges.
It's
And
awesome.
let's think about that in itself. Do you have to order in bulk now? No. Do you have to hit a crazy minimum? No. You can order 4 times a month and not pay shipping. Everything's going to come in 1 to 2 days. Now, regarding all these manufacturer deals, oh, I like to buy 4 to get 1 free. I like to buy 3 to get 1 free. You hear the word free. Awesome. Great. Now, we do have a lot of offerings just like that here, right? However,
Right.
we've negotiated the net costs of those buy 4 get 1 threes, get 1 free, buy 3 get 1 free for just one. So you can
Hmm.
order one. You don't need to spend $700 on your favorite composite to get 1 free, and now shade C3 is going to sit on your shelf for the next 3 years and it expires. You're going to throw it away anyway. So you wasted all that money. The point of us is inventory control. It's cash flow management. I mean, if cash is what you're worried about, well, guess what? I mean, order as you go. You're probably not going to pay shipping anyway. You have the supply you need. My goodness, Kiera, have you ever had to clean out a supply closet? Is it
Yep.
not the worst day of the month?
Yep.
When people order the wrong things, yeah, maybe you'll return it. Or what are you going to do? You're going to check it off that checklist and then put it where you think it goes. Now it's going to sit there forever.
Yep.
Yikes, right?
Yep.
you know, with Darby, things are easy to return. You order as you go. It's not going to get lost in some shuffle if you order as you go, right? We are partnered, getting discounts with Straumann and Neodent for implants, and BioHorizons and Zest for the locator attachment, their overdenture materials, Comet and Brasseler for rotary. We just rolled out our partnership with Bisco. We're partnered with Ultradent, Crest Oral B, Philips. I'm going to put your listeners to sleep as I shamelessly plug these incredible companies offering the incredible deals they're giving our members. But the whole point of us is, Carrie, you said you love to shop. Bad news,
Mhm.
pal. I'm taking that fun away from you. We've done that shopping for you. We know where your pricing should be. Is every price the lowest price on the market? I can't confidently say yes. It's not true. I can confidently say that a lot of them are the best price in the market, but every
Mhm.
price is going to be competitive. And if you're taking 4 or 5 hours to place an order with 6 tabs open, texting 4 different reps, that's 4 patients that you could have seen in that
Mhm.
time. So not only and you're let's say you order from all those places. Now you got 5 different shipping charges, and
Yep.
now you don't know when any of these orders are going to come. It could take weeks. Something could be on back order. Something could be expired. But hey, you saved $1 on gloves. Congratulations. You know.
Congrats. High five. I I love it, and I think that this is why I like Synergy. I feel like it's you get the Costco discounts without the bulk requirements, and that's something that
Yep.
I really enjoyed about it because something we teach with our clients is do not be stocking up. I remember I worked at Midwestern University's dental college for a few years, and I remember I went through their supplies, and because there was so much we like I remember throwing away boxes and boxes and boxes of expired supplies, things that we couldn't use anymore. And it was disgusting. And I was
Total
shocked. And I was like, that's
waste.
it. We have to get this to where we can see everything. And so we're really big in consulting of like tip out bins, having clear things, having it where your order is not like tucked in boxes and nooks and crannies. And the way you're able to do that is by buying as you need it rather than buying. Like I remember buying when I was an assistant ordering, I remember buying, I think like 10 boxes of gloves. Like we had them stacked everywhere. It was just like an absurd amount because we were like, well, we got the deal. We need to have this versus like, no, like what are we using? That also keeps our costs down. We're not having these high influxes and low drops in our supplies. We're able to have that more consistent, have more consistent overhead. And like you said, sometimes Costco is not the cheapest. Sometimes I can get it cheaper at other places. But the reality is the time we're saving and also the more dentists buying within Synergy, the more we're able to get the bulk discounts. So it's like it's the biggest DSO you can be a part of without being a part of a DSO, like air quotes around it, because you're not a part of a DSO, but it's the collective community group that's driving down the pieces for it. And Ted, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like when I've talked to Synergy in the past, you don't have to give up your reps because I know people get really weird about like, but like we've been best friends with so and so, and it's like you can still order from the companies you want. Is that correct, or do you need to like order through Benco? I thought it was like something with that, but help us understand like, do I have to give up my rep? Do I have to only order through your guys' people? How does this work for me to transition over? Because I do know dentists are very loyal, and I think that's an amazing attribute. I would say like stay loyal. Also, make sure that your overhead's making sense as you're going and buying supplies.
If you're a member of Synergy Dental Partners, feel free to order from whoever you'd like. We don't. There's no minimums or anything like that, right? Now, are you better off buying from the suppliers in our network? If you're trying to save money and time, yes, like you just said, right? Like, so Darby's our anchor supplier. They're the only distributor that we work with. If you're best friends with the Banco rep and you're looking to save money, and you give us a shot, and like I said, the sole point is to save money. We can very much help you. And there's
Mhm.
plenty to go around. And if you need to order from Banco, who you mentioned earlier, or any other distributor, have at it. But I mean, if we can cut your supply costs by 25, 30%, you keep your reps for service, you keep your reps for whatever you choose to keep them for. Yes, by all means, we are not offended. There's no exclusive like that. Um, Now, relationships are important, like you said, that regarding manufacturers, if you have a rep already with Darby, you don't have to change who you're already ordering from, as long as it's in our network. We don't force you to do anything differently.
Yeah.
But hear me out. You brought up Costco. Now, you know, you went to Costco, you only have how many free hours in a week?
Hmm.
Either you could get that at Costco or you could spend the gas money and the time to hit up Walmart and Publix and somewhere else on the way home, and now you're too tired to go do whatever it is that you wanted to do that night. But hey, you saved like $26. Have at it. Well done.
Well
How
done.
valuable is your time to you? Yeah.
Yeah. And if your gas is $7 a gallon, you did not actually make any money. So thinking about that, but like for dentists, I think there's a good book, Dan Martell. I raved about him quite a few times, to Buy Back Your Time. And I think this is a zone where we can have it, where you can actually save time, you can save money, and you can actually, even your assistants. So doctors, you might not be ordering, but your assistant's ordering. Think of like if I didn't have to give up 5 hours or 4 hours of my assistant's time, which is what I used to have to block off, and you could see more patients with that assistant rather than them ordering. That right there is a cost saving. So I did some quick math because I heard what you said. If we are able to save you usually 25% on your supply costs. So I just thought, okay, let's say there's $1 million practice. This $1 million, that's about 83,000. We'll just do 84,000 rough math a month is what this practice would be producing. We like as a consulting company for your supply cost to be about 5% of that. So I was like, okay, that'd be like 4,200 bucks that month that could go towards supplies. If you guys save 25%, that's $1,000 savings, over $1,000 savings on that 4,200 a month. I was thinking about that, like $1,000 a month. This is on $1 million practice. I didn't go for a sky high one. If you're bigger than that, obviously it's way more than that. But I just thought, Ted, like if you could save $1,000 a month, because I know you guys have this, like you guys have sexy stats on how much you're able to save practices. I understand you might have to have 2, 3 conversations with your reps of like, hey guys, for us, we care about you, we love you. The reality is I'm willing to have that conversation if I'm going to get $1,000 a month, because that's now $12,000 for the year. And I think about, well, right there, if you're looking at other things, virtual assistants can cost you $12,000 for a year. They can do all your billing. They can do outsourced pieces for you. You could hire a personal assistant for you for $12,000. Even that extra $1,000 a month, I'm thinking, could you bring on different team members for that? Like, what does that look like? I understand like a full assistant's not going to cost you 12 grand, but I'm like, virtual assistants are outsourced billing, different things that you could use those funds for. That right there, to me, I'd be willing to have some conversations and just look at. So that's where I'm really big on numbers, because I'm like, cool, 25%. But I'm like, when it breaks down to like thousands a month that I could then reinvest and use in better areas, just like I'm like, you guys, you can keep spending money on Indeed. Go for it. And I'm not here to say Indeed's not great, but you could also switch to Ava HR, which used to be Viva HR. It's literally 149 bucks a month for unlimited posting of ads. I took my cost of posting ads. I'm doing the same thing. I'm literally posting ads on the exact same platforms. I used to spend $15,000 a year on that, and now I pay about $1,200 a year. Right there, I'm like, that's a switch I'm willing to make. Yes, bummer, I don't get to like post directly to Indeed anymore. Same thing, I don't maybe get to like buy directly from my rep. You still can keep the relationship. Like if you need to buy equipment or different things like that, like you can still keep the relationship. But I think, and they will try to sweet talk you, but I've seen it with the buying groups, the savings that you get. I, I just, I just say have the conversation. $1,000 a month, go on, get a massage, do something fun. Like I don't know, take your kids on vacation for 12 grand, whatever it is. But that's just literally buying the same materials through a different platform and getting money kickback. I don't know. To me, Ted, it's always been a no-brainer, which is why I bring you guys on the podcast. So that's my spiel. But Ted, anything you have to wrap this up because I think with the tariffs, with the rising costs, realizing it's not that big of a deal, buy as you go. You can use these buying groups. So you can be like a DSO, but you can buy what you need, not having to get all these deals. You're able to cut your costs, you said, by like 25% on supplies. And just go look at what you spent on supplies the last 3 months. Think if you got 25% of that back, I think I'd be willing to have a conversation. But Ted, you tell me what you think. Those are my thoughts on
Uh,
this.
yeah, I said I was gonna say like the exact same thing, unfortunately, but I'll take that one. I'll take that 1 second further to really, really simplify it, right? And just summarize everything you just said. You know, we're partnered with over 50 supply partners, including 8 different labs, right? So as a consulting agency, right, like we see labs as high as 10, 15%. That should be what, 6 to 8%?
7. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's say you're $1 million practice. That's the practice Kiera just said. If I save you just 1% of your overhead,
Mhm.
that is the $10,000 that Kiera's talking about.
Yep.
And it is so easy to save that as a member of Synergy. And my goodness, thank you so much for having me on. It really means a lot. And thank you for
Yeah.
acknowledging as well.
Of course. I think it's a matter where Ted, when I get really passionate about things, like I love Swell. They do their Google reviews so well. You're able to save costs on your marketing, but get like really incredible patients. When I see a zone where I'm like, supplies are supplies are supplies. I understand you love your rep, but I'm like, supplies are. If I can get the exact same anesthetic, like I need my Lido, it's certified, and I can buy it from Benco or I can buy it from Shine, but I can get it for X versus Y, and I'm going to save substantially. To me, that's a way doctors it I think that this is just being a higher level CEO that realizes, just like DSO CEOs do, as much as I love the product from X, I'm going to buy it from here because I'm literally able, like it's the exact same thing. I just get it on sale. So why would I not do that? And as a female, like that's girl math for you, Ted. Like if I can get it on sale, I'm going to buy it because then I can use it to go get what I want over here. I just think like these are the zones, dentists, that the elites do. These are the zones that the multi-million-dollar practices are doing. So like learn from their strategies. Again, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, maybe a little bit uncomfortable conversations. You don't need to burn the relationship. But I would say if I was you sitting there looking at my overhead, looking for ways to do cash flow, I would radically consider something that's not going to impact your patient care. That's going to make your practice much easier and also give you more time back in your life. So that's why I bring you guys on. Again, I don't work for Synergy. We don't have an affiliate relationship with them. I love them. I adore them. Like, I truly think you guys are just doing a great thing in the business. We are working on a partnership with them in the future for all of our clients. It's something that's really been big on my mind because I feel like, hey, why not? All of our clients that are with us, let's get them the best deals. But this is why I wanted you guys on the podcast. So, Ted, how can people connect with you? How can they try you guys out? Like, again, you don't have to burn your rep. You can just go even test it out. But how can they try you guys out just to see what this looks like for their practice?
Go to the synergydentalpartners.com. Leave your information with us. Please, please, please tell us that the A team sent you. Of course, extra promotional offers if the A team. I mean, A plus team in my book, of course.
Thank you. Thank you. I agree.
Yes, 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 A plus plus, and please let them know that you were sent by them, so we can make the offering even more attractive for you. And when you join Synergy, you don't even have to have that difficult conversation. You could just hide in the bathroom, and we're all good. It's okay.
Yeah, it truly is. Don't make this wild, you guys. Uh, Ted, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming and like talking about what the reality is and like what things have gone up in pricing and how you guys have been able to watch it go up and down. You're seeing so many more supplies than just the solo practitioner seeing. And so you're able to see kind of like stock markets, we're able to see like at a bird's eye view of what's really going in the landscape of it. And I want to just remind people, you guys, the future is bright. No matter what's going on, the future is bright. There's always solutions. And I think right now is where we get to get a bit more scrappy, a bit more innovative, and truly you shouldn't be seeing much of a hit. Like, shoot, if you're seeing a hit, just switch over to Synergy and you won't even see that hit. So try it out. Ted, thank you for being on the podcast with me. And thank you for everybody. I really think this is an awesome way for you guys to truly take care of your practice, take care of your patients, and make life easier, which is what we're all about. So Ted, thanks for joining me today. I super appreciate you.
Hey, I'm happy to be here. Thanks again.
Of course. And for all of you listening, thanks for listening. And we'll catch you next time on the Dental 18 podcast.